Hey, good evening, folks. It's Mike and Miles from the Riff
Good
Circle,
evening.
and welcome to our very first happy hour stream. Mike, I got an Imperial 4 barrel blend here. It's my first time trying this one out, and I'm a big fan. It's a blend, Belgian style
Okay.
ales, aged in bourbon barrels and wine casks.
Okay.
I
All
like it
right.
quite a bit, actually, and it's an 11.7. So you
There
don't
you
need
go.
you don't need many. This is from the Gang Brewery, Cooperstown, New York.
Yep. Yep.
What do
Yep.
you have today
It's a
for
good one.
us?
Good one. I'm going with the gin tonight.
Mm,
Some Hendrix, Cabinet Curiosities. This is
excellent choice.
the Grand Cabaret.
Excellent
Uh,
choice.
a fruitier, an essence of fruit.
I love
Essence
that.
of fruit. That's what we got. That's what we
Um,
got tonight.
and folks, this is something we want to do once a week. Is the Riff Circle Happy Hour? Well, our plan is once we grow our following a little bit and get some subscribers, we want to turn it into a live stream, and
Yep.
it's where we sit down, we go over what we listen to, if there's anything we want to pick up, any sort of noteworthy music news, we kind of touch on that. And our goal is to at some point have the live stream going, and we can field questions or field topics that people want to talk about, that sort of thing. So an interactive thing. So make sure, a shameless plug, just subscribe and stick around because we're looking to build
Yep.
a good music community here. And this is one of the more fun things that you and I have enjoyed, Mike, is doing this. It's been
Absolutely.
one of my favorite things about the channel. So we're going to build on it. For right now, they're just episodes, but this is going to be a live stream. So, Mike, I'm going to
Absolutely.
kick us off. What did you spin this week?
What did I spend this week? Let's see here. I've got a small stack of some stuff that I spun and some stuff that I picked up. So let's see.
Beautiful.
Let's start with what I've already went through. How about that?
Yep.
First up, I've got Dashboard Confessional, A
Beautiful.
Mark of Mission, A Brand of Scar.
It's been a
So this
while since
is
I've listened to that band. I'm going to be honest with you.
yeah,
And not for
this
any
is a
particular
good
reason. It just kind of under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, this is a good album. To be honest, I didn't remember much when it. So this is part of the Interscope Records monthly club
That's right.
subscription
That's
thing
right.
that I'm a part of. So this one came in. It was one of those like I don't necessarily remember this album that much, but I'm a fan of the band, so if it comes in, I'm not going to be upset about it. I did not realize how much I remember this until I played it, and then I was like, I know significantly more of this album than I thought I did.
Yeah.
I thought I knew stuff, the album prior to this actually more so than this one, but this one was pretty good.
Wait,
The
does it
big
say
song
what
on it,
year it
hands
came out?
down,
Is that like a? Or,
2003,
okay, I was gonna
oh
say oh
three.
05. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
oh 03 on oh 03 on this one.
The
Hands
formidable.
down is the big single that most people will know, I think, off of this one.
Yeah, right in those
Uh,
key high school days.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But there was one massive takeaway on this one that I think was a huge win. Very glad I have it in my collection for this reason. So it has a couple bonus tracks added on for this IVC Club membership one, and the last track on it is the big single, hands down. But it's live from MTV2 album covers with Michael Stipe from REM on it,
That's
featured vocalist.
I like that, man. He is actually criminally underrated. Honestly, he's very
Yeah,
good.
and they kind of duetted the song back and forth through, and it was really good. I don't recall hearing that prior to this,
I like
and
that.
it was a big win for me. I was happy to see that one.
Just an absolute
Um,
monster, early mid '90s vocalist.
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Next one that I picked up, I've talked about this album on the channel before. I picked up another copy of it because I have a problem, and it's No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom.
I mean, if you're gonna have a problem, that's a good one to have a problem over. It's a
So
phenomenal
great
album.
album. My copy I currently own before this was just black pressing. This is a yellow,
Ooh.
clear yellow.
Okay,
Um, I picked it up because it was like I found it used for like $12, and it looks brand new,
I
and
love
mine's
that.
black, and I couldn't help myself, so I picked it up. I listened to that album a lot. It sounds great. It might actually sound better than my black pressing that I've got. So
That's great.
that one might actually be sold, and I might keep this
And
one instead. So
you can sell the black one for it. bare minimum $5, if not 10, most likely
Yeah.
$10, and then
Yeah.
you basically traded,
Yeah.
which is solid.
Just trade it. Yeah, it's a trade, just a trade up kind of thing. Next few are ones that I've picked up that I have not gotten to listen to quite yet. So first one, pre-order came in for Poppy, Empty Hands. Very excited to listen to this one. The pressing is amazing
Did they say
looking.
how many of that they pressed? And the only reason I ask is because I know her stuff is pretty sought after.
Well, her earlier stuff is, I am not sure. I'm gonna
I would
open this one
imagine
up
I would
so you
imagine
can
they
see.
probably corrected it and pressed quite a bit now if they're looking at those numbers.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different variants. I don't remember what this one was pressed to, but this color
Oh,
is
perfection.
it looks great. So I'm not upset at all about picking up that. I had a hard time picking which variant I wanted. There were a lot of different ones, but I had to get that to complete the collection. I've got a pretty complete collection of Poppy at this point. I'm trying to think if there's really anything. There's one from that whole collection I'm missing. So pretty happy to get that one, and very happy with the pressing variant that I got.
Very nice. That's solid.
Next up here is another classic album. 40th anniversary edition just came out, and it's the Pogues, Rum Sodomy and the Lash. This album is an incredible album. They're like a kind of the earliest stages of the kind of Irish punk type sound.
That's
I don't know
right.
if it
You
was
were
even
telling me
considered
about
that.
this.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know if it was considered at that, but you kind of needed this band to have the bands like Flogging Molly and Dropkick Murphys and stuff kind of to come in the future after. But so for people that don't own this already, this is definitely the one to get. If you own this album, this is a double dip, I would say, if you already own it. And the reason I say that is the 40th anniversary comes with a bonus LP, which comes with all the tracks off of 2 different EPs. So it's got bonus tracks and EPs on it that were not on the original album, as well as a live at BBC July 1985 on there.
I love
So
that.
quite a bit of bonus material. I think I
Okay.
paid only like $35 for this 2 LP.
Steal. Is it a
so-
variant?
Yeah. It's Red Marble. Red Marble.
I like
is
that.
what they
I like
call
that.
it. So that one was definitely a good one, and like I said, I would recommend it. Even if you already own that album, that's probably worth picking up if you're a fan of the band, or replacing your copy. I haven't listened to it yet. Just picked it up, so I can't say audio quality wise, but
Yep.
I have a feeling that it's going to sound pretty good. And
Yeah.
I think the reviews are pretty good on it. Next, this was a pretty exciting find. This is a repress from 2022. This is Frank Zappa Grand Wazoo.
Love that.
So I just got this one. I was really happy to find it because this is actually the limited edition brown vinyl.
Interesting.
And I thought you could only get this from ordering it from the website, and then I found it in a store. So
Used
that was
or
pretty
new?
exciting. What's that?
Used or new?
New.
Oh.
New.
Wow.
But the price was good, much less than buying it on Discogs used. So I picked it up. But
That's
this
good.
is a great album from Frank Zappa, and I'm a big Zappa fan, and I've kind of not picked much up from him lately because I've got probably too big of a collection that I'd like to admit.
I was
of
gonna
Zappa.
say when you showed it at first, I was gonna ask you how the Zappa discography collection's coming on because you're getting up there. I'm writing
don't-
down the album because I'm making a note to listen to it. So, folks, for those of you listening, our big thing here is learning about new music. I haven't listened to that album, and I should know the Progs because Flogging Molly is like a top probably 20 for me band, maybe band of all time, definitely top 30. And so I remember you and I texting, and you gave me a song to listen to. So what we want to do is we want to start engaging with shorts, and where we get a recommendation or something that intrigues us, and we follow up with a short and just let you know, oh, hey, Mitch mentioned the Progs, and I just listened to the album, I love it. Or I don't know what Mitch is thinking, this album belongs in the clearance bin, et cetera, et cetera. So I got 2 notes here, Progs and Wazoo from Zappa. I'm excited to listen to both of those.
Yeah, yeah. And you asked, so this would be from a quick Discogs look. I This can't be completely accurate. Hold on. Um, yeah, it's not. So this will be number 21.
Oof.
21
Wow.
in the Zappa collection.
I didn't. How many? I mean, you probably don't know off the top of your head, but he's got to have. That's got to be close to the discography, right?
Not even close. Not
Really?
even close.
Of like official
Yeah, because
studio
he's got the Mothers of
albums?
Invention. He's got all the stuff with the Mothers. Then he's got Zappa by himself. He's got a big discography, and kind of like Grateful Dead. He recorded everything.
Ah,
So
okay.
every show that he did, there's live versions of. He
Which is
has an
great. I love that.
entire,
I love that.
yeah, he actually has, there's a whole archive of like every recording that was ever done.
Whoa, this guy has 62 albums.
Yeah. And those are just officials. So there's a documentary called, I think it's just called Zappa. I strongly recommend it. Even if you're not a Zappa fan, it's very interesting. He considers himself a composer, not an artist in the like a rock star in that kind of sense. But he was very big in particular on recording everything, and he just has there's archives of archives of archives of stuff. Um, so yeah, so there's a lot of good material to work with and a lot of cool stuff that will come out. But
62 is a lot.
but
And then the posthumous official releases is 69.
yep, yep.
That's,
Um,
oof,
but
those are huge
this one
numbers.
is a mainline
Yep.
Zappa album. I would put this up with like Hot Rats is my probably my favorite and probably a lot of people's favorites. But
Yeah.
this one's up
Grand
there.
Wazoo.
But Bernie Grunman, mastered
Oh,
by our
oh
boy,
my! You say
by our boy.
less on that one. That's a
So
10 out of 10. No, I love that.
and last two that I got here, move on from Zappa. Last two I got here were thrift store finds
Oh,
that
my
I was
favorite.
excited
Just my favorite.
to track down. First one is Louis Armstrong.
Love that. I
So I
love
picked this
that.
one up. Uh, it looks pretty clean. I picked this one up just because I was buying the other one anyways, and I think they were $1 a piece. So
You spin them
why
one
not?
time and you get your value. You
Yeah,
listen to
yeah,
one
and
song on one of them and you got your money's worth.
yeah. So it was like, why not? But the one I was checking out for, I couldn't believe I found it. Ahmad Jamal, Happy Moods.
I
So
love,
$1 in the thrift store.
I love it.
Uh,
I love
this
it.
is just an awesome find. I haven't cleaned them yet. I haven't played them. I don't know how they're going to sound. They could be terrible. They look visually pretty clean. There's
Yeah,
like a
doable.
couple spots on this one that were a little questionable looking, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll run them through the cleaner and see how it goes. But yeah,
No,
that's
that's
it. That's the pickups this week,
I love that.
and what has been spun.
Beautiful.
What was for you? What about you?
I have no pickups, but I'm going to go through what I spun because there's an interesting topic here. One I hit, and I don't normally listen. You know, it's funny when your favorite bands, right? Like your top three bands are usually ones you don't listen to that very often, just because
So true.
they have this special place where it's like I save those for moments. And I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm ready to revisit. Could be my second favorite album of theirs of all time, Animals. Now,
such a good album.
this
Oh,
is
you got the
yeah, you
shirt
got
on tonight.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love the shirt too. The sweatshirt's sick. Now, here's the topic that I think is worth discussing. Just us doing a sidebar. This is the remix. Okay, it came out in 2022.
What an album. And is what is it? But it wasn't it called like the 2018?
Yeah,
What's the what's it actually called? It's on the front there. I
yeah,
can see it.
2018 remix released in 2020.
It's
Well,
a
this
2018
copy this
remix, but it came out 4 years after they actually remixed it.
so and I don't know. My guess is that's a Roger David issue. I know
I
someone
think it
knows,
was.
and I
Yeah.
used to know, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, and I think it had something to do with the booklet or something. I can't remember, but there was a big argument over it.
Roger Waters couldn't put his name as credit for everything on it.
Yeah, probably. Um, mastered Bernie Grundman, just a name drop. Now, here's the thing. The topic is this. This remix, I remember when I first put it on, when I first got it. Now, as a side note, and you're going to love this as a value hunter, this here is the edition with the book and all that, and I got it for $15 Black Friday at Walmart. Okay, you can't beat that.
What a deal.
Now, what's interesting is I know that you have the diehards that live and breathe the original album. I'm telling you, this remix is better than the original.
I agree.
It is better. What makes
agree.
it better for me, and it's very obvious if you listen to the two albums. Now there are nuances of instruments being removed or things moved around a little bit, but plain as day, the rhythm section, bass and drums, is brought a little bit more forward in the mix, and they are more prominent. So the bass being a little bit more syrupy, it's got that, it's just thicker and just more there, which
I agree.
adds a lot. So this album, right, is very Gilmour heavy, right? These tracks are 10 minutes long, 11 minutes long. There's basically 3 of them. I know technically 5, but there's basically 3 tracks. And it's just Gilmour shredding, which is great. But this version with that rhythm section just kind of brought up higher in the mix is just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And I'm critical of Waters as a bass player. He's actually not that great. And I don't know the songs and I don't know how often, but there were times in the studio where Waters he wouldn't be able to play the bass line and Gilmour would just do it. He's just like,
Really?
yeah. It didn't
Well,
happen.
he wouldn't admit. I'm sure he's not admitting to that.
No, but there are pictures, and Gilmour's holding the bass, and it's like, yeah, I'll do it. I know how to do it.
Didn't he claim that he wrote the "Comfortably Numb" solo, and he just had a piece together Gilmour's?
The claim that they fight about is there's an engineer that claims that he did it in one take, like the first take, and Roger Waters was like, no, we were there all night. It took forever. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I don't know, but as a bass player, I'm usually pretty critical of Roger Waters. As a lyricist and a packaging director, very much like an Adam Jones-esque guy, like he puts the presentation together, he's top notch. Musician-wise, I think David outshines by a mile. However, on this album, when you actually bring that bass to the up on the front of the mix, loads better, and he's got some nice lines. He's got some good licks in this album. So I think it is
He does. It's a great album. I
It's
got both copies.
so interestingly enough, I as you know, I've been thinning my collection, trying to just narrow it down. This is how strongly I am on this remix. I sold my 2016 regular version. I sold it. Which was a great pressing. 2016, the remaster was excellent.
It sounds amazing.
Oh, it was very good.
I was skeptical that they would be able to improve off of it because it sounded really good.
I agree. That said, I realized I will never play that version again. I don't think. I think it's this one always because it sounds that good. So that one there, that one kicked off a thought-provoking thing, and I started going through all the remixes I know where I'm like, which albums benefited from remixes? And I got a little list, trying to put together an episode, but I don't quite have enough to put one together. And I was gonna obviously text you about it, but I haven't quite gotten there yet with it. But there's like 3 albums I came up with where I'm like, the remix is just superior, and I'm sure there are others out there.
This is that much better.
Yeah. So that one got a spin. This one here, Wizard, the original Wizard.
The original Wizard.
This is a blind buy, an expensive blind buy actually. So limited edition color, 98 out of 105. Weird pressing amount. Not a lot.
Wow.
The original Wizard, rare and sought after psychedelic hard rock album from '71 from this Florida power trio that opened for big names like Iron Butterfly and Mountain, even played on the legendary Goose Lake Music Festival. So it's a remaster.
Okay.
And then they kind of they throw a couple names on here, which I don't like, which they try to relate to The Who, Steppenwolf, Hendrix, Sabbath, Grand Funk. I'm going to tell you, this band is not those bands. That's a bit of a shameless. Hey, we're kind of like these guys. No, you're not. However, very good record.
We're trying.
Very good record. It's basically it's kind of like Pink Floyd during the metal era, where they're trying to find their sound, and they're kind of leaning a little bit on that Beatles influence, kind of naturally, kind of like defaulting to something a little bit Beatles-esque, which is basically to say these guys are like kind of a bluesy British Beatles band, but with like a harder edge to them, but not hard enough that I would put them in any category on these other ones they listened to that they listed. But still a very underrated. It was a blind buy. I looked it up in the store, and it goes for $70, and I didn't pay. I paid, I think, 30. So yeah, I thought it was a good pickup, blind buy, and I actually really like it. So that one's going to stick around in the collection. A little
Nice.
soft. I tend to like the harder Black Sabbath and metal, like the hard blues. That's a little soft, but it's kind of a nice change of pace. Now, next one coming up is the harder version of what I like. And I've been this Three-Man Army, the album 2. This is criminally underrated, wildly underrated. So it's got Adrian and Paul Gervitz, who then then they go on to do the Baker Gervitz Army Band, which I have been kind of obsessed with that. This here is very much just that hard blues stuff from the very UK sounding, just kind of that gritty blues, great solos, underrated, criminally underrated. And I know a lot of people say that there's another one in their discography. It's got like a picture of a gun on the front. I should know the album name, but I don't off the top of my head. But folks say that is better than this one. So I'm going to track that one down and hopefully have it ready and listened to by the next...
A Third of a Lifetime. That's what it's called.
Third of a Lifetime.
A third of a Lifetime, yep.
Yeah, I hope to have that sampled and listened to by the next happy hour so I can kind of report in. But this, phenomenal. Every time I spin this, I'm like, whoa, why do I not have more of that? Just great. Limited to 1,500. And next one up, I actually had you pick out for me in terms of when I didn't know what to listen to. So this is Day Trotter presents Gary Clark Jr. and Son House on the back. So Day Trotter, I don't know much about Day Trotter, but I think it's a little bit kind of like a Tiny Desk where they have musicians come on and then they have different records they put out. So this is number 14, it says. So the 14th installment of Day Trotter. Now, this one here, I'm a huge Gary Clark Jr. fan. I was sold. The second I saw him, I was like, what is this? He is a top 15 for me. I've seen him live a handful of times. Just an incredible musician. Just obscenely good live.
Wow.
And yeah, this one's a great one. It's got some unplugged stuff and then some like heavy stuff. It's a little bit all over the place, but it was a kind of a blind buy. I mean, I know Gary Clark Jr. is, but I didn't know what Day Trotter was. And I saw it sold for quite a bit, and this was for 27, so that was kind of a blind buy, but I knew I was going to get my money back and then some. But I'm going to hold on to that one because I like it quite a bit.
I'm going to have to dig into this Day Trotter sessions. I just pulled it up.
I don't know that they do it anymore.
I just pulled it up to... They don't. It says it was a renowned series of intimate live recordings, but it's interesting because they list what some of the bands that they're known for, Bon Iver, the National, Fleet
Oh,
Foxes.
the National. I didn't know they had the
So
National on there. That's wow. Um,
yeah, so that's just the top names listed. So I can only imagine how deep it goes, but
and I do
I'm pretty
know.
interested in this.
Yeah, and I
This one,
think
yeah.
that's why their records go for a lot of money, because getting a repress on that's going to be, extremely difficult to do, just because who
Yeah.
owns it,
Well,
the
if they don't
rights
do it
to
anymore.
it, all that stuff. So that'd be a
Yeah.
nightmare to figure out legally. But so I got it for an absolute steal. I got two left here. This one, this was a complete blind buy. Mississippi
Mississippi
John
John
Hurt from
Hurt.
the archives. This was a blind buy in order to get the free shipping on an order,
Mm.
and I absolutely love it. So, to give you an idea of the feel of the album, first pressing, one of 400, it says on it.
One of 400. Light.
What's cool about it is it's so he was born in the 1800s. If that gives you any idea of how far back this guy goes.
Wow.
He was born in the 1800s. The actual album itself is it gives you the vibe of you're sitting on a porch with this guy and he's playing and just kind of like talking the lyrics to you, like
Yeah.
in a laid back, almost like a poetry style. But he's just kind of, you know, just chatting to you about the blues, and I love it. I
Like
don't
a
have I
Robert Johnson kind of.
Oh, it's got to. He's got to be in the same vein as Robert Johnson. I'm sure if you were to look this guy up, he'd be all over, and they'd be mentioned together. Very similar, that
Hmm.
Delta blues
Yeah.
style, but I love it. I don't have anything like this in my collection where it feels like I'm just kind of sitting there hanging out with this guy, and he's just playing for me and talking to me the lyrics. So I really dig that, and it's a great one to put on at night or something, just a little bit more mellow. Very
Yeah.
awesome album. Love that one.
Love that.
Yep. And then last and probably probably least, but I'm putting together an Amorphous discography ranking. The Amorphous debut. So this
Look at
is
that.
the Carillion Isthmus. Now, you and I have talked many times about the metal album covers. Okay, this is a war going
So
on.
good. That one looks nice.
This is easily one of their best album covers. It's just absolute savagery on the front. Um, and I'm doing a discography ranking, so I was like, you know what? I'm a little harsh on this one. I want to revisit it. And this is something that I wanted to bring up, another topic. So we did the remix topic a little bit, a sidebar. I want to sidebar on this one for a second. Bands where the debut has a hardcore following, but there's no budget, they have no experience in the studio. Sonically, it's shit. It's shit.
Mm.
There's no engineering whatsoever. So the mix then turns out like shit, and the production is lacking because they have no money, and these are teenage. Now, keep in mind, they're teenagers in a studio, so I think they do better
Right.
than what I would do in a studio as a teenager. But at the same time, when you're ranking a discography, it's like, okay, this, you did good for what you had, but against the other ones that have the budget, have the experience, have the engineering, the mix, and the master done correctly, this doesn't stack up. Yeah, I get it. It's got its hardcore
Yeah.
following, but the riffs have no variation, and the sound quality is shit, and it's just a lack of. But
And
I
this is
get
their
it.
so this is their first album,
Debut '92.
and they've got that album art.
Yeah, excellent album art.
Wow.
Crazy
Wow.
album
And
art.
is that original art, or is that art
That's
that
the
they took
original art.
from like?
Oh,
No, I mean like was it made for them, or was it
I think they had
like an
someone make
artist
it,
do
an
it for
artist
them?
make it, and I believe it's um, on the notes
Oh.
somewhere. I thought, but I'm pretty sure an artist made it. But Oh, cover art, yeah, by Mir and Kim. So they had someone do this. Probably a friend.
Wow.
Probably a friend. They were like, "Hey, we want to do this. Do you have any interest in this?" Probably, yeah, sure.
I mean, well, they did a great job.
I mean, it's a. I mean, look at that.
I would buy that if yeah, if I was in a store and I saw that on a shelf, in 92, is that what you said?
92,
92?
92. I would instantly buy it.
Yeah,
Instantly, based off the cover.
if I was in a record shop in 92, yeah, that would be a what
I
is
mean, you
this?
see
It
this from
looks
super
awesome.
far away, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, but sonically it suffers, but it did exactly what it needed to do. It was the foundation builder for the next one, which then sonically improves quite a bit and ranks much higher.
Mm.
So I don't knock them for it. Like I said, a bunch of teenagers and with no experience, but I needed to revisit it for the discography ranking. Check that video out when it's posted. But spoiler alert, that one doesn't list very high. Um, that's just one of those things. You have a debut of a young band, and the whole point is they get better. I would even argue that Led Zeppelin kind of suffers the same fate with their debut, even though their debut is insanely good. I think
It's a
production-wise,
monster debut.
Production-wise, they just kept scaling upward as they went. And I think that was
Yeah.
Page just like learning everything, getting every little nuance down. And I think by the time they hit Physical Graffiti, they were like perfect production. Zeppelin
Yeah.
3 was leagues ahead of 1 and 2. 4 was near perfect. House of the Holy, I mean, it just kept getting better and better and better. So it is what it is. It happens to the best of them. But, I do like spinning it, though. It's got that, what it does have, and I'll give it to them, is when you have like a garage band and you're just excited you're in the studio and you're doing it. You're like, we made it to the
Yeah.
next level. It does have that X factor, which does count, which is good. All right, Mitch, that's what I spun.
I like it.
Let's move on to the next segment.
Good spread.
Here. Yeah. Oh, excellent. Yeah. No, we between the two of us, we covered a lot of genres there. Is there
Yeah.
anything you're looking to buy? What's on your radar? What's on the want list?
Oh, what's on the want list? Oh man, the want list. So my want list typically is things that I'm probably not getting anytime soon. Want list. So the want list for me is unique. My want list, Discogs at least, is typically things that I really don't buy.
Yep.
They're the things that I'm just watching in case they pop up. It's all like the high dollar items that rather than the things that I'm actually like tracking down.
Yeah.
I have some new
I have
ones.
a bunch of those as well.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you mean.
I've got some new ones that I've added on to it. Not necessarily things that I'm going to be going for anytime soon. But I did put on some recent represses in 25, or not represses, first presses. J-pop artist Ayumi Hamasaki. She basically her whole kind of first like beginning of her catalog was just pressed for the first time on vinyl. There's some big
Interesting.
ones on there. Love Appears, Duty, Rainbow. Those three particularly are ones that I'm a fan of. Love Appears specifically, I really like the electronic 90s. It kind of has like almost a house industrial
Is that
type
why
feel.
there's no vinyl pressing? Is it's 90s? It was all CD.
90s, yeah, everything was CD. Everything was CD.
Yep.
And some of the CDs are kind of expensive as well. So it was
Mm.
exciting to see those come out. But then they're Japan exclusives. There hasn't been anything for the US announced. So we're looking at like $70 to $75 import
Oof.
price.
That's tough.
Um,
For a single album.
I'd pull the
that's
trigger,
tough.
honestly, because I really want them at like around 50. I would. I would. But
Yep.
70, 75, it's starting to get to the point where I'm like, man, one album for that much is tough.
There's a lot
I
you
hope
can
I
do
don't
with-
regret it.
Yeah. A lot you can do with 70 bucks.
There is, but I'm hoping that it's not one of those things where I regret it down the road and go, I waited and then now they're $200 albums and they don't do a pressing anywhere else besides those limited ones. And then I'm like, well, I guess 75 doesn't sound so bad now.
That's
but,
true. Good birthday item.
Yeah, well, put them on the list if
Yeah.
they're still available at that point.
That's true.
Who knows? So those are kind of the most recent thing I added to the want list. I added a cassette to the want list. There's a different one.
Interesting. You do
cassette,
have the
yeah.
Denon player. What's on the list?
Yeah. I don't buy many cassettes, but I did add one because that's the only physical release it's had. So we talked about Poppy earlier. One of my favorite EPs from her, the EP Choke, was only made limited on cassette. So I put it on
Interesting.
to watch it. Will I ever get it? Probably not. It's
That's
like
got
a
to be
200.
super expensive.
It's like a $250 cassette.
Ooh,
So yeah,
stings.
would not. I mean, I
Ooh.
don't ever want to listen to digital as my only source, but
Yeah, that's a
that's
tough
how that
one.
is. And at $250 for an EP of like 4 songs, I think.
Oh God.
Um, it's 5 songs. Um, it's not going to happen. But
No.
I put it on the want list to watch it.
Yep.
I did
I
have a
like it.
couple pre-orders though that I've put in.
Beautiful.
Um,
Okay.
so those ones I did. So first up, coming out here in a month or so, we're getting pretty soon for the release on it, is Rob Zombie's new album.
I had that on my list to talk about tonight for the upcoming
Yeah,
releases for first quarter was The Great Satan.
The Great
I
Satan.
sampled
I've got
one
it.
track, and I'll be honest with you, it was a couple weeks ago, and I can't really remember it that well right now. But I remember it being pretty good.
Yeah, it's it's right up my alley. I like Rob Zombie. I'm a big fan of his. I've seen his live show, amazing. If anyone
I
hasn't
remember.
seen him live, I fully recommend going to see him. But this got announced, The Great Satan, and I was like, that just looks cool. It's for take my money.
Yeah,
There you go. Take my money, Rob Zombie.
he
I
does a good
will.
job with the packaging and the presentation, and
He
you've
does.
mentioned to me before he's quite a live show, so that he's high on my list to see live. And I like
It's
to see
he
him put out stuff. I like that. I always want him to do
crazy.
well. I don't know why.
Crazy energy that comes from him in his shows. It's amazing to see him perform the way he does. But yeah, so got that one on pre-order. What else did I put on pre-order? Macho Man, Randy Savage has a rap album.
I saw with an obscene price, right?
It does, yeah. I found a store that was selling it for a little bit less, and again, this is why I can't surf the internet, because this is what
Oh,
happens
you
is
did.
I
You put
spend
it
money.
in.
I pulled the trigger. I pre-ordered it. I
Wow.
pre-ordered. I
I
missed it on
love
record store
that.
day. There was a record store day pressing of it a couple years ago. I
Hmm.
missed it, and then the prices got obscene, and then they've pressed it a couple times since, and not as cool as versions. And then this one has an alternate cover. It's white instead of
I mean,
black, but
does
the splatter is just Macho Man to a T. His ring gear. I'm a wrestling fan, so that's a whole topic for another time. But couldn't help myself. Pulled the trigger on that one as well. So that one's
I love
on
that.
pre-order. What else did I pre-order? I feel like there was something else that I was gonna. Oh, Lamb of God, new Lamb of God album, Into Oblivion. That one I got on pre-order. That first song single was great. You know what you're getting with Lamb of God. I've seen them
Yeah.
live many times now,
Yep.
and this new single came out. I pre-ordered the version that I think I actually pre-ordered one from the UK, because I think that was the pressing I liked the most. I actually think I'm importing that one because it was the coolest looking one
Very cool.
that I could find. But amazing first single. I was really into it, so excited about that to come out here in a couple months. Might be summer. That might be a pre-order for summer. It might even be that far out, but
I like
pretty
it, man.
excited for that one to come out. And what else did I get? Probably the most excited that I am was kind of an interesting one. You probably wouldn't guess this one, that I pre-ordered, that should be out here in a couple weeks, I think. But Charlie XCX is doing a soundtrack for the new movie Wuthering Heights, starring
In.
Margot Robbie.
Oh, you mentioned this to me.
I did, and I
Interesting.
pulled.
That movie looks
I did.
good.
I pulled.
The
I
movie looks
pulled the
good.
trigger on the pre-order.
Beautiful.
Um,
I love that.
Specifically, so her first single on it, "I'm Gonna Die in This House," I think is what the track is called. That's what she says in the song.
Yep.
But it's got John Cale from Velvet Underground, and
Interesting. Wow.
it is just, man, it's an art song. It's an art
I got to
song. When
hear
you
that
first
now.
listen to it, you're kind of like, what is this? And it has grown on me. It's deep, it's dark, it feels good.
I gotta.
Uh,
I'm writing it down right now.
yeah, and then her second single off it, I think is called "Chains of Love." I think that's the one that's in the trailer for the movie. Great sounding song as well. So I'm excited. Once the second single came out for it, I ended up pulling the trigger on the pre-order because I
Whoa,
was
I
like,
love that.
this is sounding. This is two in a row here that it's into. I like how dark and artsy it feels. For we're talking about a pop artist here
Yep.
who I think probably had the best album of 2024. I think is when Brat came out, but
You did rep
just
that one.
I did.
Is it
It's
dark like
it
the
deserves.
is because you and I did an album review for Florence and the Machine.
Mhm,
Everybody
we did.
Scream. Is it dark kind of like that? It's because a little similar to that, or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, but
darker, or
it is more electronic,
yep,
a little more electronic than that, a little
less like
more
classical.
darker. I would
Okay,
say darker than
interesting.
that.
Oh,
Like it's definitely got at least. So the first two songs that are out here, "Die in This House," so that is definitely it's like it almost feels like it's a horror movie. It's really kind of like this is for Wuthering Heights,
I love that.
and then it's actually interesting because this is not the order of the tracks, but the digital release, that's track one, and then it jumps to the other single, which is Change the Look. It segues into this other song great, and that's a much more like up,
Yeah,
well, in the key of uplifting. It's not
yeah, I
necessarily maybe
got you.
lyrically uplifting,
Yep.
but so it kind of has a nice flow to it already. So I'm really excited to see kind of what direction this goes. But if the whole album is in this kind of electronic, dark, emotional space, I'm
Yeah,
here for it. The cover
I
of
love
the
that.
album definitely looks like it is. The movie looks interesting. So I'm excited to see the movie. We'll go see it here in a few weeks when that comes out. But excited to hear how the whole album sounds. And would you have thought John Cale of Velvet Underground would
No.
be on a Charlie XCX album as a first single? And he's doing like poetry through it, a heavy electronic abstract song. So it's like immediately, you know me, and immediately that was like, I haven't heard something like this. This is not something an artist does, especially probably one of the biggest pop artists the last couple of years.
Yeah.
To go and do something like this is really unique. So
Well,
take my money.
that
Here
was
it is.
like Lana Del Rey was she was supposed to do a track with Lou Reed, which is
Mm,
kind of similar. She flew into New York to
hmm
meet him to talk about it, and that's when he passed. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, so never ended up happening. But some of these pop stars get this reach where they pull these guys that are like, you would never think would bridge that gap, and they have that reach to
Oh
do
yeah.
so. I'm gonna check that out. I made a note. Beautiful. Okay, so you got some things in the works here. For me, I got two things. Before I mentioned when I was doing what I spun, Three Man Army.
Yep.
I've become slightly obsessed with the Baker Gurwitz Army.
Yeah.
I love what they do. Ginger Baker being just an absolute monster on the kit.
Everything he does is so good. Those
And
albums he did with Fella are amazing.
they're awesome. And
Phenomenal.
and I think Gurwitz is super underrated as a guitarist. It's just that kind of that genre I like. That's just kind of that bluesy stuff. What I have sampled from the Baker Gurwitz Army, it's dangerously close to that disco time period. It's like that mid to late 70s where it's like it goes from like Led Zeppelin 2, it starts to get kind of dicey. Like what I mean by that is like when you hear Zeppelin like 1 through 2, it's like straight hard blues. And
Yep.
then as it progressed through the 70s, not Led Zeppelin themselves, but everyone around them started to walk that line of like funk, disco, blues, and
Yep.
then it just
You
went
start getting
into
those brighter keys, those
yep,
pop 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 drum
yep,
beats that are
exactly.
yeah.
Everything livened up slightly
Yeah.
and then some went full blown. And another
Cocaine.
band who walks that line
There
is
you go.
Little Feat. What's that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What'd you say?
I said cocaine. That'll
Yeah. Oh,
do it
yeah.
for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Feat's another one who walks the line perfectly, where they're right on the edge, and you can kind of hear it in moments. Like it's not as dark and bluesy and heavy,
Yeah.
but it's not cheesy like disco. They're swerving around the disco, and the Baker Gurwitz Army actually does it better than Little Feat. They stay just far enough away. Um, I'm gonna be chasing their. I say chase their discography. They only have like 3 albums, but I know I'm gonna be looking at those heavily. The other
There
one
was
that
a
I
record store day release, maybe 2 years back for one of those, I think.
spoiler alert, ordered it yesterday.
That's the one with them and the horses, right, on the
Yeah,
cover.
they're like
Yeah,
charging
yeah,
into battle. It's pretty sick.
yeah.
It's a cool
I
cover.
remember because I had it in my hands. I almost picked it up and put it
Oh,
back.
it's good that you put it back because you can get it super cheap. It's $15.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I kind of predicted in the
Yeah,
15 to 20 range for that.
$15, and that's shipped. So yeah, but the album itself phenomenal. So I'm excited to hear that on vinyl because I've sampled it. And then the other thing I cannot stop listening to, I will be buying on a vinyl. I just got to track down the right pressing at the right price. And I've talked about him before on the show. He's played with the Oscar Peterson trio, Niels Henning Orsted Peterson. He's got an album with Archie Shepp
Hmm.
called Looking at Bird. Okay, it's compositions
Okay.
written by Charlie Parker that they play.
Yep.
And
Sounds-
he's an upright bass player, and oh my god, his playing is out of this world phenomenal. On the Oscar Peterson trio album, I remember hearing that for the first time, being like, this person has fingers of lightning. He's just flying. This album's great.
Love
You
that.
get to hear some of that, but there's also um, I don't know if it's Jaco Pastorius influence because I don't know who came first or how I got to learn some of that.
What the order is.
I don't know
Yeah.
what the order is, but the harmonics on the big upright, he plays them phenomenally. And
Wow.
there's a lot of subtle tracks in there where he's just light, and it's just he's just phenomenal. He's worked his way into a top 10 bass player for me easily. I can't get enough.
That's impressive.
Well, it's the third time's a charm. So I heard him first on Oscar Peterson Trio, and I literally was listening
Was
to
that
the
on
album
was that the On the Clear
on a
Day? On
clear
a Clear
day.
Day? The
Yep,
live one? Yeah.
live one, the record store day on a clear day. You're right, 100%. There are very few times where I stop in my tracks and I need to know who's doing what instrument.
Hmm.
And that was one of those times I was like, who is playing this bass? Because I should know them, and I didn't. So then I bought a blind buy from him, and I should know this, but it's him and another bass player, and the album's called Double Bass. One of my best blind
Love
buys
that.
I've ever had in my life. It's one of my favorite jazz albums of all time. I love it. So then I hear this one just kind of randomly, and it's just an absolute grand slam. So I'm like, there's 3 in a row. This guy's the real deal. I will be chasing his albums aggressively. He does a lot of pairings. Like it'll just be him and another guy. So
Yeah.
it was for the
Yeah.
double bass album. It was him with the other bass player, and for this album, it's him and Archie Shepp doing Charlie Parker songs. Charlie Parker songs. How do you go wrong? So I'm chasing that aggressively. So those are my looking to buys. It's the Baker Gurwitz
I
Army.
like
I'm
it.
going to be looking at those albums aggressively, and anything to do with Niels Henning Orsted Peterson, I'm going to be looking at those aggressively as well.
I
And
like that.
one
Good
more as a
choices.
quick note, and it's thanks to you, and this is the Riff Circle mantra, right? We learn about new music through each other. That Charles Mingus album.
Mm.
I have sampled that a few times.
Yeah,
I
blues
know
and roots,
Blues and
I think
Roots.
it is.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've sampled it.
amazing.
I've
Oh,
sampled it I say sampled, run through the whole album 3 or 4 times now, and I'm like, I have to own this on the Rhino Reserve. So That is 100% a buy for me. I just got to pull the trigger on it. So
So good. So
yeah,
good.
folks,
Absolutely worth the $32.
no brainer. It's a no brainer. So folks, that's what we're looking to buy. I'm going to touch on. I got two more things to touch on, kind of fast ones, but we'll touch on them anyway. One of them you spoiled. Upcoming releases for the first quarter that are I'm
Mm,
kind of noting here. So Rob Zombie, the Great
whoops.
Satan, is one of them.
Yep.
I
Already
got two
pre-ordered it.
more on here. One I talked to you about already, the Aerosmith debut, the expanded
Yeah.
Legacy Edition.
Yeah.
I'm not
What's
the.
the expansion on that? What does it have? Is it a live album? Is it
It's
demos?
it's the
What's
live
it?
album,
Oh,
and I
okay.
don't
Oof.
know off the top of my head, but I'm gonna pull it up here. It's the live album, and I sampled it. Let me just tell you, and they sound great on it. Um, Let me see here.
$150.
It's a lot.
Paul's Mall Live, March 20th, 1973.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep. Um, I sampled that and I thought it was great. Now, I'm not going to day one buy this. I'm not the biggest Aerosmith fan. Okay. But their debut is excellent. It's excellent. This might be one of those cases, and you and I have talked about this on the show before, on a different episode. The CD is tempting.
Mm,
It's a 3 CD for $36. Not
that's
bad.
better than the 150 for the 4 LP.
150 steep. So the CD is kind of calling to me a little bit. Um, so what it has on it, it's got the album, of course, with a remaster, the 2024 remaster. So apparently they're just pulling from the old 2024, and then it's got the original album remixed as CD2, and then CD3 is the Paul's Mall live performance, as you mentioned. And then
Oh
it's
yeah, I
got
see that. 24 remaster and then 24
the
remix.
remix. So I'm
Hmm.
curious. I am curious. It is a good album. I think the earlier you can go with Aerosmith tends to be the better for me
I mean, you've
personally.
got Mama Ken and Dream On that album.
Yes. Insane. Also, as a little side note, I just finished the Geezer book. That's the last topic I want to talk about, but we're not there yet. Started reading the Led Zeppelin biography, and of course, that's very Jimmy Page laden because he is the guy.
Mhm.
And the book is phenomenal, phenomenally written, and it starts with. I love how the author starts the book. He starts it with you not knowing who this kid is, and it talks about this kid hitchhiking from, I think, the Virginia area up to Boston,
Okay.
to go and see this new phenomenon play, this new band, and the band, of course, being Led Zeppelin, and the kid who hitchhiked is floored, and it says he cannot wait to go tell his bandmates in New Hampshire about what he just saw, and the kid who hitchhiked happens to be Steven Tyler.
Wow.
So, um, and this is a renowned biographer. So the author is he did the Beatles, and this Led Zeppelin book is the real deal. So from what I gather from that is Aerosmith taking some big whoa moments from some early Boston Led Zeppelin, South Side Boston no less. And in the book, anyone that's from New England like Mike and I are, South Side's rough, and and the club scene, the circuit scene that these kids played at that time was rough too. But Zeppelin was selling out shows as like a nothing band back then. And Steven
Wow.
Tyler was a lone guy, hitchhiked to see him, and then carried that up. So I think the earlier you go with Aerosmith, the better. What better than the debut? And I think for me, the CD is the way to go. Just seems like a
Interesting.
clean, way easier way, much cheaper way to do it. So
A
we
little bit
have
less shelf space.
that's part of the big key. You are not kidding. So
Or
we
you'll
have.
be like me and have to get like 6 of these things.
I'm looking at one right there after you sent me the link. I had to run out and get it. It's a lifesaver. So we have Rob Zombie, Great Satan, Aerosmith debut, the expanded Legacy edition. I'm very kind of excited to hear that one. I got one more on here
You've
that's
got me more excited about that now that we've talked about it.
yeah. I
I'm now
think
much more intrigued.
I'm curious. Remixes are always curious. You hear a remaster all day long. You and I have texted. Nobody knows the difference, and it kind of goes top of the show. I talked about the Animals remix.
Yeah.
Okay, a mix is things are done differently on where the instruments are and how prevalent they are. Sometimes they'll pull out small things like on the remix on Animals. There's a cowbell that they yank out. Some that's a hot topic. I personally think it sounds better taken out. Some people swear that it needs to be in. Little things like that. But as I mentioned, the bass is more syrupy. The drums
Yeah.
punchy and in your face. The mix is shifted such that the rhythm section is brought forward and is now relevant. Um, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know enough about the Aerosmith debut to weigh in on whether or not the original mix is shit. But it goes back to what we were talking about with the Amorphous album. These kids have their debuts. They don't really know what's going on. They're inexperienced with the studio. They're inexperienced with engineers. They don't have the money to buy, to hire great producers, things like that. So I'm curious as well to hear the remix on that to see maybe they've done something really cool. I don't know. So we have Rod.
I'm interested and definitely interested to hear it, especially for some of those bigger songs like Dream On.
Yeah,
What they do with the
I agree.
remix version of it.
I agree
Um,
100%.
to your point, the mix is more of a going back to the actual stems. We call them
Exactly.
stems now, but the actual tape and going back to how they were recorded at the time.
Yep.
Maybe putting different things into them, levels. So full mix of the album. The master is after they've bounced it to a 2-track, where you're getting
Exactly.
your left and right channels or
Yep.
mono channel, depending on what it is, and then the compression, EQ, what goes onto it from that point. So that gives you your audio levels and outputs and so forth. So from
Yeah.
that, so definitely a different thing, and you EQ it differently depending on the medium that you're listening. So a good master is going to be different for if it's getting compressed to a CD, super compressed to a digital track,
Yep.
if it's going to a tape source like a 2-track, or if it's going to a vinyl. So
Now,
you get different masters depending on what you're doing.
100%, and that's perfect info. I agree. Do you think there's going to be a vast difference in sound between the vinyl at 150 and the CD at 36?
Well, but yeah, probably. But for that price, if you're not a fan, like
Yeah,
a super fan, for the price point,
negligible
probably
amount.
not.
Yeah, negligible is
Yeah.
my guess.
I'm going to assume they're mastering for vinyl, and that's what you're getting. Not that they're mastering it for CD, and then they're
Yeah,
going to then put it onto vinyl. Um, I don't know what the details on it, if it's like a full analog remaster or
I
what
I,
they're doing there. But
I got to look into it a little bit more, but I'm intrigued by it and think I might own a copy of some sort. I don't own any Aerosmith at all. And I think if anything, it's going to be the debut. And if anything, I love me a live show. And I've sampled it already, and they sound great. A lot of
oh, I'm
harmonica.
sure.
He's on the harmonica right off the bat and all throughout. I love it. I love the blues with the harmonica. So we're gonna we'll look at that one a little bit more. I got one more on the upcoming releases. This is an interesting one. Mumford and Sons Prize Fighter.
That's right. I saw that on there. Yeah, I forgot about all that.
It's interesting because this band was a monster band, monster in the 2010 to 2016 time frame. They could do no wrong. And then they had Rushmere come out, I think last year. I liked it. For some
It was
reason,
okay. It was safe in my opinion.
I agree. I agree with that. For some reason, it did not entice me to purchase it.
Same.
And so it's kind of interesting to see a band that's like a whoa must get the second they say they're going to make an album, you have to go get it, kind of fall a little bit. And I think part of that is just the time lapse they've left where they didn't do anything.
Yep.
And I know for them, they had a lot of issues, personnel issues in the band. Some political, some interfamily issues. I've always loved them. I would like to see Prize Fighter do well. I have not heard anything off of it, but it's definitely on my radar.
I haven't listened to the single yet.
Yep, I have not. So that's on my to-do list is to listen to Mumford and Sons Prize Fighter, see if there's a single out there, and kind of assess the album. And I need to revisit Rushmere, probably one that I should own, honestly.
I was a big fan of Marcus Mumford's solo album that came out. I really
love
liked that one.
album. I love
But
it.
it did not get it was not a big hit, I don't
No.
think. I feel like I saw it pretty frequently in clearance bins and stuff, but
You bought it for
I
me
put
in the
that one on
clearance
a
bin
lot.
for
I very much enjoyed that one.
$12 or something like that. It's got a phenomenal featuring cast.
Yeah.
Especially the female artist towards the end. I think he's got three or four in a row that are just phenomenal. Brandy Carlisle's on there. I'm almost positive. Some other phenomenal ones. Underrated solo album for sure. Mitch, anything for you for the upcoming releases?
No, I think we covered them.
Touched them. Okay.
I'm sure there's others that I'm not remembering at the moment. But I think we covered the big ones. I think we covered the big ones for now. I'm sure next week there's going to be a whole new slew of things that I've spent too much money on.
No, I agree. No, folks, we got some homework to do. I got Prize Fighter. I do want to sample more of the Rob Zombie. I do want to find out more information on that Aerosmith debut. And I have some listening progs. I got Frank Zappa, Grand Wazoo. I do have the Charlie XCX soundtrack I want to sample. And that Ahmad Jamal, I want to listen to that one too. It's always a good reminder. So I got some awesome homework. I'm excited about it. Folks, that's our show for tonight. Happy hour.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, what we want to do moving forward is we want to turn this into a live stream where we field questions or comments that you have in real time, topics that you want us to cover. We can cover those in real time. So shameless plug, hit subscribe. We're here. We want to build the community. This is a long-term project. We want to engage. So, if you're looking for a platform where you have a voice and you want to weigh in on some things, please do. I would love it, Mitch, and I know you're the same. We're talking about this stuff. I look over and I see comments of people saying that debut of Amorphous, the vocals are horrible. This one's better. And then I can say, yes, you're right. I agree with you. Or, Miles, that is blasphemous. How dare you speak poorly of the debut? Right. You're the worst ever. We can take it. We're good with that. So, folks, Mike, thank you. Good happy hour. I got to go get me one more of these, and then I'm off to bed. And folks, thank you for sticking around, and take care, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.